Welcome back. Well, yes, Mr. George Osahon joins us now. He's a director with the Department of Petroleum Resources. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
As you know, we time and again, there's this talk about how do we get our petroleum sector computerized, doing things that's up to standard across the world, and people talk about technology, bringing in technology to that sector to ensure that some of the challenge we experience become history. Is DPR doing anything about that?
Well, actually, that is the reason why we have decided to inform the members of the public, especially stakeholders, about what we are doing with respect to computerization. For example, companies who register as service providers in the industry, they do it manually, ordinarily. But what we're seeing now, we're going computerized. People go online, fill the form online, even collect their certificates online. They don't have to come to DPR. They pay online, everything is done online. That is what we want to do, introduce to the members of the public.
Okay, so that will take away all those downtime. But is it that effective to the extent that if they had any downtime or had any challenge, what do they do in that case?
They call us, or on the internet, that's a place where you can get across to the DPR. If you go on our website, part of it will tell you, if you have any questions, come to us, fill the form, and we'll respond back to you. Any question you have about either the OGISP, anything about the industry, we'll respond to you.
Does this also include, in what time, what's the duration of that response? Because that's part of the challenge also. People think that when you bring in technology, it's supposed to also make it a lot faster, the response time. But what some people experience is it takes even a lot more process in terms of getting that response or feedback from the agency at the other end. Will this not be the case with DPR?
Well, right now, if you fill your form, you take it to the DPR. DPR will go through it. First and foremost, they give you a small token and say you can use that for whatever you want to do. It takes approximately 2 weeks for you to get your certificate. But what we are doing right now, if everything goes well, it should be approximately 72 hours. Then you get your certificate. And you don't get your certificate from the DPR. You print it online by yourself, inside your own room, inside your own office. You don't have to come back to us. Okay.
How does this affect other functions of the agency, the monitoring of petroleum products, those who are in time dispensing it to consumers out there?
Okay, one of the things we're doing is actually making sure that starting with this, we make everything computerized. Let me start by saying that the DPR has approximately 20 certificated permits. By certificated permits, I mean permits that are written on specific types of certificates, as opposed to the one that we just say, okay, give you a permit by writing you a letter. Now, those things are going to be going online. You don't need to come to our office. You don't need to come and collect forms. You just go online, fill your forms, and print out your certificate by yourself. Now, when you go to things like you're talking about petroleum products, I don't envisage that over the next 5-10 years, DPR people are going to be going to filling stations armed with a small can and say, okay, we want to take a measurement of what a liter of fuel is. I don't think that is what we're going to be doing over the next 10 years. We should go computerized. And the whole idea is, if everything goes well, and I have to repeat that, because when you talk about some of these things, you take on too much at the same time, you don't necessarily do it well. Now, when you go to a filling station now, our people go there, they give you a can. Eventually, everything will go computerized. The companies, all filling stations are supposed to provide information to the DPR at any point in time, because the law allows us to get an idea of what they are selling, when they sell it, volume they take into their stations, how they dispense it. All those things we will collect and use as an information tool to monitor what they are doing. Yeah. I don't think over the next few years we'll be going to filling station to measure food.
You know, how have you been able to handle in a quality control as well as pump prices? Because we've always seen that as the problem, especially when there's maybe some form of artificial scarcity, and people have always thought the DPR will come to the rescue.
Okay, let's take quality control for a start. When petroleum products come in, because not too much is coming from our own refineries, most of them come from overseas. by import. When they come in through importation, first and foremost, there are laboratories to test these things. There are some laboratories run by DPR itself, but if you imagine the number of petroleum products that are coming in through various vessels in different parts of the country, mainly Lagos and Port Harcourt, then we employ the services of third-party laboratories to test these things. Then, of course, they are distributed to various filling stations by truck. Now, what happens along the line sometimes is difficult. That is why we have to go to filling stations themselves to go test the petroleum products, because sometimes these things are adulterated along the way. Then, in terms of pricing, we have to go there to check what they do. First, you want to know whether they are selling normally by adjusting their pumps, or they are under dispensing. And that is what the one I talked about, going there with a measuring can, then they pour in and you see whether it's actually a liter that is measured or it's below a liter.
By merely looking at it, sometimes it could have been adjusted and it doesn't give you the actual amount.
That is very, very true. You can actually see, because the thing is supposed to tell you the price per liter on the pump, on the machine itself. You can see that. But sometimes they don't adjust that. They actually adjust the amount of fuel that they dispense to you.
It's very interesting. It does sound a little complicated in terms of how often do you do these things? I mean, is it really possible for you to be able to cover all dispensing stations in Nigeria? That
is exactly why I said there's no way you can do this manually. Even if you look at policing in the world, there's no way you can have policemen monitor every part of every country. It is not possible.
So because of that, they now involve, that's why the police is involved, or is trying to, at least in Nigeria, trying to involve the public and get them to be interested in what exactly is going on, especially in their own security. How are you involving the public in helping to monitor what exactly is going on at this filling station?
Actually, it's the public helping us to monitor what is going on, not the other way around.
How's that working?
Well, that's why I said that at any point in time you can call us, you can pass information to us. People send me text messages and say, these people in so places are dispensing fuel at more than the normal price. And we send our people there. Now, if you know what happened about 3-4 months ago when there was some form of scarcity, what we try to do is to enlist the support of law enforcement agents to go to these filling stations. Why? Because we don't have enough people to go there in the first instance. Then two, when we put our seal there, people just simply turn around and tear off those seals, because we are not allowed to carry arms or something. We cannot enforce the thing to any degree that we can deal with these people. So we go in there with NSDC, police people, and so on and so forth. They will make sure that first and foremost they sell, because if you seal out too many filling stations, you're going to create another form of scarcity. So we make sure that first and foremost the fuel is there and they can sell. When they finish selling, then you can do anything you want in terms of punishing them, fining them, and so on and so forth.
Well, how do you do that? You wait for the entire day for them to finish their sales?
No, well, the thing is this. DPR person is not there. The law enforcement agent is there. When people finish selling the fuel in there, before they take another one, there must be something that is used in punishing them.
But that could take a long time. If my stock is going to last me 1 week, what I have before I finish selling.
If your stock lasts you 1 week, then you're not selling. I can tell you that.
It's interesting, but the question is, what are you telling the public to look out for, you know, when they get to a filling station, for instance?
Well, first and foremost, be clear that you've seen the machine, the dispensing machine, to see what is written there in terms of the price per liter. It's always there. Price per liter. And sometimes people don't worry. People just say, okay, fill up. My advice is, I'm not saying you shouldn't fill up, but it is better to buy specific amount. It helps.
If I tell them, okay, give me 20 liters.
No, it's usually valued in naira. It's better for you to just say, okay, give me 5 naira worth, or give me 10,000 naira worth, or give me 2,000 naira worth, as opposed to saying, give me 20 liters. Because even the people that run these machines themselves, they are more attuned to reading the thing in terms of the amount of money you are spending, as opposed to the liters. For example, some of the more modern filling stations, when you go there, you say, I want to buy 5,000 naira worth. They go there and actually punch a pad, 5,000. Then when the thing dispenses the 5,000, it stops by itself.